reading for me for this time of year is the time change can suck it. So
There you go, man. I was talking with a doctor about it earlier today, and he used to live in an area of Tennessee that did not fall back or spring forward, but it was in the central time zone, and all of his family is in the eastern time zone. And so he's like, this time of year has always been really tough for me because I'm used to being able to talk to my family at the normal time, but then they would fall back or spring forward, and I didn't. It's dark when I go into work. It's dark when I come out from work.
because yeah, I was thinking about the darkness. I'm glad you presented that because that's funny because it just presented an issue for me that we work with people all around the U.S. and I have somebody in Arizona. Arizona does not. So I was like, why are we not meeting right now? Oh, I understand.
Mm,
Your your state's smart. All right, cool.
yeah, America can be smart with it too. We're still waiting for the federal government to finally pass the law. I think we talked about it last time that this coming spring 2024 is supposed to be the last time that we spring forward, but because of some, political happenstance of confabulation of facts or something, I don't know, that bill is now tabled until next year. So maybe spring 2025 will be the last time that we spring forward. And then we'll
like
just
it,
be, there'll be no more falling back or springing forward. It'll just be that way permanently.
like it's crazy to me like how much an hour affects me. It seems like it's like 8 hours. And I've noticed over the past few days as we record this a few days after the time change, like my appetite is so much different. Like I'm eating so much more in the evenings because my appetite's so much more just like ferocious than it normally is. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is some kind of circadian rhythm kind of stuff that's disrupted based off of time changing. So it could have something to do with that, maybe.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think to like that extent though. Like for just an hour for like my body to be going, I need to eat 5,000 more calories.
Well, I did see some of your book choices that you're currently reading, the Arnold Schwarzenegger autobiography and the Britney Spears autobiography. Or is it a biography?
It's an autobiography. Yeah, it's actually
Okay.
written by her. Yeah.
Um, so maybe that's causing you to have to eat
There you
5,000
go.
more calories this time.
There you
So,
go. Like I'm doing Brittany dance moves on top of doing Arnold's 3 hours twice a day for 6 days a week. Yeah, there you go. Makes sense. All right.
yeah, I'm just saying, that makes sense.
I'm
You
much
put
more
those two
physically
things
active.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, these are things I need to do. It's unbelievable that this woman was inside of me. Uh,
Hit
so,
hit me with another mill, baby, one more time. There you go.
yeah, at least one more set, right? A couple more reps. You got it. You can do it. Um, but all of that aside, moving into this time of year, like we've been going through the several past weeks, is typically when people start thinking about what they're going to do next year, being that New Year's resolution time is right around the corner. And one of the constant resolutions is, quote, getting in shape, end quote. For a lot of people, that varies, but for a large number of people, it involves losing fat mass. Um, and so, if you've been following along, we've been putting together all the simple steps that you need to take in order to build your own fat loss plan. Of course, we'll always recommend that you find the support and accountability that you need at franchisenf.com. Sign up for your free meet and greet. We'll get you set up that way today. But if you feel like you can master all of this without support and accountability, research says that you can't, then by all means, good luck. Uh, Otherwise, on our previous episode, we talked about finding your maintenance calories and how do you do that. So, what would be the next step in the plan?
The next step in the plan for me all right, maintenance calories. So we figured out, all right, you're eating a sufficient number of calories that's maintaining where you're at. I figure out how to create a deficit because I don't care what crazy fad diets out there, what crazy exercise program you're doing that claims that you're going to burn a gazillion calories after you're done. I don't care if you're standing on your head eating grapefruit and that's going to automatically like raise your metabolism. You have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. And the best way I've ever seen that put is figuring out the most calories you can still take in to reach a caloric deficit. Because I think a lot of people want to go to extremes. It's like, okay, like if I'm taking in 2,000 calories a day, well, I'm all of a sudden on an 800 calorie a day diet because that's going to get me where I want. But you're not going to be satisfied, amongst other things, amongst the issues with that extreme example I just presented, but like figuring out what you can do that's as close to what you're already doing, it's going to get you to achieve the results you want. So figuring out what you need to do, whether it's taking in less calories or burning more calories, or for most people that I work with, it's usually a combination of both.
Yes, it's absolutely a combination of both. I we've talked about this before. I hear people constantly say abs are built in the kitchen. That is not true. That is a
That's one of those
statement.
nifty, like cool, like yeah, things. It sounds cool for like social media posts and stuff. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like you have to like abs. I saw it. Somebody posted like abs are revealed in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. Like,
Yeah, that was
yeah, they're
us.
not. Yeah, was that us?
we
Was that us? Am I just thinking something was so profound that like I'm like it couldn't have been us. Like I was like somebody that like has like such a great background and it's so profound and clearly very knowledgeable at some like Jesus. All right, fantastic. So these great guys that own franchise nutrition and fitness said abs are revealed in the kitchen. All
yeah.
right.
I was going to literally say we've mentioned this before that abs are revealed in the kitchen. They are built in the exercise. They're built through your
So
fitness.
that explains why I'm like, yeah, somebody had this really good statement that I heard somewhere.
Yeah.
No shit. Like I clearly value our opinion.
Yeah. So I hear
See
that.
the time change affects everything.
Yeah. What year is it? What year? Oh man. Running through the streets and looking for a newspaper and possibly going through a mall and stealing some clothes and magically finding the exact right size shoe that fits you.
Right shoe after you hold up a homeless guy to get a nice overcoat.
Yeah.
Cut off the butt of a shotgun, and like people who've never seen Terminator are now just going, "What the f- are they talking about?" Like,
Yeah, it's okay. If you listen to this podcast, you know how much
it all
we
it all comes back to
love
all comes back to
Arnold
Arnold.
Schwarzenegger. It was mentioned at the beginning. We'll mention it again at the end.
It's good thing we're all virtual and like that we don't have like an actual physical building for franchise nutrition and fitness because we would just have like this like huge sculpture I think of like in the
Oh,
main like waiting area of just Arnold just like posing.
yeah, it used to be a bust of Arnold. It would be the one we take a copy of the one from Ohio from in front of
Oh God,
the
yes,
center
yeah,
there, and then bring it in.
yeah,
Yeah,
perfect, done.
it'd be great. Um, all of that aside, abs are revealed in the kitchen. Like I said, the way you do that in the kitchen is by following a well-structured program with typically what's called a diet. So if you go to the US News and World's report, you can search for the best weight loss diets. I recently did a talk with a bunch of doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists, respiratory therapists, nurses that all work in cardiopulmonary rehab. I literally pulled up this page and I eliminated multiple of the diets because multiple of the diets, quote unquote, are actually systems that provide you the support and accountability that you need.
All right,
The
nice. All right, so give some examples of that because I like that's a very good point. I like that.
Yeah. So the number one per US News and World Reports 2023 best weight loss diet, quote unquote, is Weight Watchers.
Hey, it's a program with accountability. Where like, weird how that works.
Yeah. So that's why I eliminated it. It literally says its first line is Weight Watchers is focused on lasting weight loss through behavior change, nutrition science, and social support.
Weird, huh? That's
Two out of three of those things are what the evidence suggests is what actually creates long lasting, sustainable weight loss. If you are a person out there trying to lose fat mass, if you lose 10% of your baseline weight in a year, you're considered long term weight loss maintained. The problem with that is that in the follow up, 20 to 30% of those people following up after 1 year are the only ones that continue to maintain that weight loss. So there's 70 to 80% of people that don't maintain that after 1 year, that weight loss. And what they found when they investigated that group is that those people did not adopt behavior and lifestyle modifications in order to maintain their weight loss long term. It wasn't the people that you're around, it wasn't your environment or your demographics or your genetics. It was the adoption of those modifications.
and that's always the point that I enjoy when I have enough rapport with somebody that's on a weight loss program that they'll always tell me, well, I was successful in the past with insert program, insert crash diet, insert whatever. And I always like to make the point in a much nicer way than I'll say it right now. But like, really, were you successful? Like, why are we talking right now if it's successful? Because I know we always like to harp on keto for so many different reasons. But like, I'll hear so many people go, I was successful a year ago. I lost 70 pounds on keto, but then I gained 80 pounds back.
Yeah.
I don't call that a success.
So 5% in 6 months, 10% in a year. That's considered successful weight loss. If you lose 5% in 1 month and you gain it back, it is not successful. Like that's exactly what Matt's talking about right there. Like that's if you lost 70 pounds, then inside the next 2 months you gained all of it back, you definitely didn't achieve successful weight loss from even a standard clinical study standpoint. But the other best weight loss diets on here, number two is the DASH diet. That is the dietary approaches to stop hypertension. It's a very common one out there. It's basically trying to cut your sodium to as low as you can. The but through eating more fruits and vegetables. Right. So you're going to see this.
Wait, what? I've never heard you say that before.
Never came up with that. Number three is the Mayo Clinic diet. It's a tie with another diet. It also has a food pyramid where the base of it is fruits, vegetables, and physical activity.
Hmm.
Number three, the therapeutic lifestyle changes diet. So it's tied with the Mayo Clinic diet for number three. Also focuses on eating up to 5 servings of fruit a day, 5 servings of vegetables a day, and making all of the grains that you choose whole grains. So, and then the number five diet also ties is the Mediterranean diet, which everybody knows about. Not going to go into what that's considered in there. And then the flexitarian diet, which basically increases your fruit and vegetable intake to where almost all of your meals are vegetarian and you have meat on rare occasions. So notice how all of these best diets for weight loss utilize fruit and vegetables as their thing. I will tell you, if you are trying to start a fat loss plan, you've established your maintenance calories. Now you have to find a way to create a caloric deficit, like Matt said. The best way to do that is adding fruits and vegetables and finding something to substitute the fruit and vegetable for. So if you normally have, let's say, a honey bun at breakfast with your eggs, maybe you have a couple of pieces of fruit at that time with your eggs instead of the honey bun. You're going to get a similar amount of sweetness, but it's going to be way less calories than that honey bun, right? So there's your
Yeah,
nutrition deficit.
yeah. You think about, like, I always use the, the the example of broccoli. Like, a cup of broccoli is 35 calories. Like, think about like how big a cup of broccoli is. So I always tell
That's
people, like,
two
all right,
servings of
yeah,
vegetable.
yeah. So there you go, boom, perfect. So like, so to think about, like to cut out, like something else that you're eating. Like, I always tell people, like, try to eat 200 calories of the broccoli. Like, take your Snickers bar out and put in broccoli. And, like, you'll be so friggin' full. It's insane. Like, the amount of volume you can get from fruits and vegetables and satisfaction, and then figuring out. I think that's kind of the fun thing with some fruits, especially vegetables, is like figuring out, how can I incorporate this? Like, how do I want to season these? How do I want to cook these? Like, it can be a fun thing. You don't necessarily have to go, I want to eat a bunch of raw broccoli. Like, it's would suck for most people. But like, yeah, having it as this fun experimentation. And if you don't know how to do that, we can certainly help you come up with ideas. FranchiseNF.com.
Yeah. And on the other side of it, the fitness part of it, add activity in somewhere. That can be something as simple as a walk, like we've mentioned before plenty of times.
Just like a 10 to 15 minute walk after a meal, or 2 meals a day, like 3 serves a day. But like, if you're not doing anything, because I had somebody actually ask me yesterday, she was referencing the 10,000 steps a day, and she was like, I heard that's actually too much for a lot of people. So like, had seen and heard some of the research, and I was like, let's just move a little bit more than what you're doing. Like, if you're only taking 2,000 steps a day right now, let's do 3,000. Boom, done, easy peasy. So just like incorporating a little bit more physical activity than what you're currently doing.
Yeah. That, and then if you're already doing a lot of cardio, start incorporating some strength training in there somewhere, whether it's body weight, we talked about that on a previous podcast, or if it's actually doing some kind of resistance work, whether it's bands like we love here at franchisenf.com, or if it's regular straight weight, or even a machine weight, doesn't matter what it is. Adding some strength work is also going to help you out with your fat loss plan.
So it's always bands, it's always fruits, it's always vegetables, just like bands, bananas, broccoli, like just
Triple B. I'm gonna make a
yeah.
shirt with it. It's gonna be great. Don't worry, we have fun merchandise coming in 2024 for you people out there. Either way, like we say every week, maximize every bite,
Maximize every rep.
yeah. Head on over to franchisenf.com, sign up for your free meet and greet today.